Gary, we have reached the point of the Olympics where I am forcing my 6-year-old at 8 o'clock in the morning before camp to watch rifle shooting.
Hell yeah, brother. America.
Welcome to the Elle Duncan show. It does feel a little problematic at times. Like she just scans for the American flag and she's like, I'm rooting for Jenna. I'm like, that's great. And then, which is adorable at first, right? It starts out very cute and adorable. And
Sure.
then it starts to take a little bit of a nationalism turn where you're like, ooh, where it'll be like, I don't want that person to win because that person isn't American. And they're probably not good because they're not from America. I was like, ooh, this
Whoa.
is this is becoming problematic.
Is it though, Al?
Wrong.
That sounds Eva, keep doing your thing, girl. Mom and dad are raising you correctly because you know why? You can't pour from an empty cup. All right. If you don't have national pride, you therefore can't have international pride. And she will, of course, evolve into that as the beautiful, smart, caring 6-year-old that we all know and love who just enjoyed a nice pool party this weekend. So, Eva, heck yes.
Yeah.
Keep rooting for that red, white, and blue while also understanding that there are a couple other countries that also have those colors in their flags.
Yeah.
And they're all right too.
France being one of them. What's funny is that this has been a real lesson in me too, because my daughter will watch something with me and then she'll be like, "Where are they from, mommy? What's that flag?" And I'm like, I don't know. If I'm too far away to see the little letters that give me a good indication, I'm like, um,
Nah, you ain't lying.
Singapore. I really don't know. It's really truly a lesson in geography and all of those other things that we forgot about, world studies, being a youngster. So I am repeatedly and consistently showing my during these Olympics.
Actually, that's actually pretty good. What Eva does need to know right now is one of the most beautiful flags, okay, of the 200 or so countries who are competing. That South Korean flag, L,
The
is
beaut.
doing its thing
Yeah.
up top of the leaderboard, which we're going to get into. We're filming this, of course, on a Monday late morning, so the medal count will continuously shift and change. And of course, Old Glory is at the top of the aggregate medal count. But L, I'm like shocked with the top three medal standings. It's China, it's Japan, and it's Korea. We're dominating out of the
Yeah.
gates
I love
so
that.
far.
I love that. Listen, it's right around the corner from what is it? AHJA is
Hey, come
on
on. Hey,
TV.
yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You'll be in Chicago this week for
Yeah.
NABJ, and
Yeah.
then you'll be tapping me in while you tap out, and I'll be going to AAJA
Yeah.
in Austin in the first
Yeah.
week of August, and we'll just be beaming with pride, sweating in Austin in the dead of the summer,
Yeah. It's
beaming with
great.
national pride.
I love that for our Asian American brothers and sisters, and obviously anybody that is represented by the AAPI. You guys, it has been rumored that you, as a people in general, tend to be overachievers. It is not exactly surprising that you are excelling at this. You tend to excel at most things, but watch out for America, okay? Because some of the sports that we get lit at are coming, with
Hey,
all due
straight up.
respect. With all due respect to any other country, we've got track on the way still. We're about to go ahead and get a couple of them things in
That's a fact.
gymnastics. And of course, women's basketball kicks off today. We'll talk to you about what we saw from the men's side, which Gary seems to believe the best part of the men's win, by the way, over Serbia on Sunday was the memes that it produced. We'll get into all of that as well.
That's a
But in
fact.
terms of the women, we're getting ready on this Monday. They're going to play Japan, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So obviously this is already going to be out. We won't know the results. But the thing that everyone's talking about is not necessarily, how they're going to beat Japan. Most people seem to think that's a foregone conclusion, but it is again the roster makeup. And that's because Dawn Staley, who was on the Olympic Committee and actually helped choose this roster, admitted on Sunday to something I thought was very revealing and mature. And she said, if we had to do it all over again, Caitlin Clark would be in very high consideration to make this team because she is playing head and shoulders above a lot of people. She said what we all said at the time. At the time, when they chose the roster, she wasn't playing bad, but she was just playing like a rookie. And now 6 weeks later, she's playing amongst the best guards in the world. And so, yes, upon hindsight being 2020, Caitlin would probably have made this particular roster if they were choosing like right now. But they did not choose right now. They chose 6 weeks ago. So they're going to go with the roster they currently have. Do you agree with Dawn? And I think I know the answer here, Gary, because you felt like she should have been on the team even 6 weeks ago.
I agree that Caitlin Clark should have 100% been on the team. I disagree in that. And we beg our players, coaches, figureheads in sports to just like forthright and honest with us. There was probably a way for Dawn Staley to give Caitlin Clark her due while saying the way the team is made up is perfectly fine. They will take care of business, because now instead of being like, yo, we are about to dismantle Japan again, we're like, oh, did you hear Dawn Staley? Caitlin Clark should be in game one when we take on Japan. Now it's like the Olympics is such a rare time on the calendar every 4 years where, like, generally speaking, most people are like, hell yeah, America, let's go. We'll beat everybody else. And now you just sort of throw in that little crack where it gives people the opportunity to be like, yes, I'm excited, but did you hear Dawn Staley? I told you, Caitlin. We're just reopening old wounds, I think, here.
She's kind of damned if she does and damned if she doesn't, though,
Yeah.
Gary. And I think that's the problem here is that if she was being honest, which
Yeah.
is to say,
Correct. Correct. Correct.
like, yes, if you judge Caitlin on how she's playing right now, it looks like an Olympic snub. It did not 7 weeks ago when we chose this team. It did not look like an Olympic snub because we had to come up with this roster when she was still playing like a rookie, when they were having a hard
Yeah.
time stringing together games, when she led the league in turnovers. And so that's where she was at. She was honest. She was like,
Yeah.
yes, people, yes, this version of Caitlin Clark 100% could have been in consideration to be on that Olympic team. If she goes the other way, and says, well, we stand by what we did and we still don't think that Caitlin is good, then everyone's calling Dawn a hater. So it's like she really can't win in this situation. I appreciated that she was really honest and was like,
Definitely.
listen, this is something we said at the time. Maybe we'll look back in a couple of months and go, ooh, Caitlin figured it out, right? But at the time, they didn't have the benefit of foresight. They only had the
Correct.
benefit of what they had in that moment. And in that moment, she wasn't one of the best guards in the world. It is what it is. And now Dawn's saying she's playing like she is. So I hope that that is really sort of, I don't know, a fait accompli, like her basically saying, let's put this to bed. Yes,
Yeah.
no matter what happens with this team, we would reevaluate if Caitlin was playing the same way back then. She's not. So we move forward, pushing this team, hoping that this team can do what every other women's Olympic team has done before them, and that's bring home gold.
Definitely. And I think they will do that, except, and I don't know if it's old video. No, it's not, because it says Paris 2024. The Chinese national team has like a 7'3" woman on their squad, dude. And they just played South Korea. So it kind of hurt watching that. But
You watched that, Gary? You watched that
there's
game?
there's gonna there's gonna be problems. China's gonna once again give the US problems. I'm
Okay.
talking about sport. I'm talking about sports this time. All right. All I'm saying is the US, they're going to run the gauntlet. They're going to win again, but similar to the men's side, probably not as intense. The competition is going to be a little bit better.
I feel like it's got to be so interesting that despite the world getting better, despite people, once you set a standard, people trying to come and meet that bar and hit that standard, we just think it is just a foregone conclusion that they're going to win. And I imagine that it's that kind of pressure that faces Simone Biles. I watched this young
Yep.
woman who I have said numerous times to me is Captain America. She's goated. She's the star of this Olympics for me, especially after what happened for her. And I don't think she needs any cementing of her legacy. She's always going to go down as the greatest gymnast of all time. But this has just been amazing. But I watched her hurt herself in warm-ups, and I still just had this unflinching belief that, like, on one leg, she'd still do it. Like, we
Correct.
have literally created in our minds this superhero who is just above reproach. And she's not helping that because then she went out there and did exactly that. She hurts herself. She's limping. She goes out there after briefly leaving the floor, got some kind of medical treatment. I don't know. I don't know if she got like the Jalen Hurts, the Justin Fields.
They
Remember what
just
they gave him? They gave
they
him the
just wrapped
Justin
it up
Fields and came back. His ribs were healed.
straight up.
But she came up and now she sits atop the all around right now after qualifying. And they'll pick this up a little bit later in the week. But she was Simone Biles. Like she's hurt and she's still doing
Mm.
things no one's ever done in Olympic competition, doing her signature moves, just
Yeah.
overall being absolutely fantastic. And I just wonder, like, the kind of pressure on someone like that when a whole world just tends to believe that even while injured, you're just going to figure that out. That's, man, that's
Correct.
a lot of faith in someone, right?
Which two things. One, I think it really does shine a light on just how bad she must have been going through it in 2021 when she had to bow out of all of those competitions. It reminds me of when Jordan retired to go to baseball, and it like gave the Rockets that 2-year window, and that's when Hakeem and Houston won those two national championships. Or national championships, NBA titles, was because Jordan was playing baseball, right? Otherwise, it would have been 8 in a row for the Bulls. That was basically the 2021 Olympics when Biles couldn't compete. So it opened the door for the Suni Lees of the world to win the all around. And now she is back. And if anybody needs help, like contextualizing just how good Simone Biles is with just a line that I was hearing, because I catch all my stuff on Primetime Paris. Because I don't know. Elle, I'm a millennial. I'm a mid-tier millennial, so I'm good with technology, but I'm not good enough to like find everything as it's live. So I'm like a less a buffet where I go and pick and choose. I'm like a restaurant. I go and I just need everything brought to me at this point. So that's why I tune into primetime. And when Simone Biles was doing her vault routine, the commentators literally said, this was after her injury, Simone Biles doesn't even have to land this. She doesn't even have to land on her feet because what she does in the air is so difficult
Yeah, the degree of
and so
difficulty.
out of reach for everybody else to do it. As long as she does whatever she's going to do in the air, she can fall on her butt and still win the competition. Like
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yes. Correct. Because of her degree of difficulty. I mean, the woman
Correct.
she just actually submitted for a new move for the first time on Beam, which means that this would be the sixth move that's named after her,
Yes.
meaning that she'd be the only person ever to have a signature move on every single event, which is incredible. But that vault you're talking about is like the Yurchenko double pike. So no one's ever in competition been able to
Yes.
nail that or hit that, or you double pike on your landing. And she's ridiculous. I mean, and that's the point, is that it's just she's so good that she just has to start like creating and inventing things because she's like
Correct.
bored. She's like, you know what? No one's ever done a triple pike. Let's
Straight
try
up.
that shit. And then she nails it. And then she moves, the goalpost. And then the girls try to chase her. And it's so surreal. But I do have to give some love and a shout out because again, we're expecting Simone Biles to do this. By the way, shout out to Suni Lee. I think for the people that only check in at Olympics, right? They're like, well,
Mhm.
yeah, Suni Lee, she won gold all around at the last one. Like this was she became a big superstar. Suni Lee has been through it. She was diagnosed with an illness. They couldn't understand what was happening. She was swelling. She gained 45 pounds. They had to sort of figure out a medicine cocktail so that she would be able to compete again. She didn't think she was ever going to be able to compete again. As
Mhm.
of January, she didn't even know if she'd be ready for the world championships, if she'd be ready to compete. So this is not like her being able to play second behind Simone Biles in the all around, which will put her in the all around, is amazing. And I'm not overlooking what an incredible journey back for Suni Lee it's been in the 3 years since Tokyo. But I have to give a big shout out to Jordan Childs because you talk about a snub of all snubs. I mean, Jordan Childs, similarly, like her path has been really interesting. Suni Lee was able to be here because of a couple of dropouts because of injuries. Same with Jordan Childs, who wasn't exactly like, doing her absolute best, playing her best, whatever you call it, competing at her best this year, but was able to sort of get in there and to qualify at the Olympic trials because of some injuries. And she does an amazing job and she comes in third in the all around, but because of some stupid rule that only two people per country can be put into the all arounds, she gets left out of the all around
Mhm.
competition. And this is a young woman who really struggled at the Tokyo Olympics in the all around. She didn't even make it to qualifying. But when Simone Biles went down, she was asked to step in, and she stepped in such an incredible way. Gary, she didn't even warm up, and she
Mhm.
went and won silver for America. She replaced her. She nailed her uneven bars and she didn't even warm up. Okay. And she helped earn the team silver. So she has had such a long journey and she gets left out of the all around with a chance to compete for the ultimate goal and the ultimate thing in gymnastics simply because her teammate was 0.68 better than her. Like, it's just crushing. So I want to give a big shout out to Jordan Childs because her
Yeah.
coach admitted that she's having a tough time with it. But she's still going to obviously be able to contribute towards the all around and the team winning a team medal. But it's just such a bummer that she
Yeah.
did everything she was asked to do, nailed her routine, and she's still not going to get to move forward.
It's a winner's problem, is how I look at it, because at the end of the day, you are representing Team USA. We have the best of the best. And to be honest with you, Elle, she's not the only member of Team USA who's not getting any action, not getting any playing time, and has to be sort of relegated to, I guess, bench duty is too harsh to label Jordan Childs as that, but I guess it's pretty on par with what we saw from Jayson Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton in
Yeah.
that opener.
It really is. I mean, listen, it's a great problem to have. It's a 2% problem that
Yes.
you are so loaded with superstars that even an all pro, the highest played basketball player in the world and the
First team
reigning
All NBA.
champion, first team all NBA, didn't see a single minute in a blowout win over Serbia. And of
That's
course, that's
crazy.
one of the biggest talkers as well. The US men's team. Can we give ourselves a pat on the back though? Because we talked about this last week and the week before. Are we
Yes.
concerned? They're barely beating South Sudan. And what did I say? Once they get Kevin Durant back, once they stop playing with their food, they'll be fine. And what happens? Kevin Durant comes into a game that at first Serbia was serving them, right?
10
Like
to
they
2,
came
10
out
to
on
2 out of
fire.
the gates. And I was
10 to
like,
2 out of the gate.
this is trouble.
This is trouble. And then in comes Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
the
Nasty.
Durantula, and he wasn't just nasty. I think at one point, Gary, he was 14 for 14. Like, how is that even?
Yeah.
He was absolutely absurd. Keep in mind, this man has not played in any exhibition games. He's just been practicing a little bit. He really hasn't played anything. He truly came off the street in street clothes and slides and just put up an absolute remarkable number. Crazy.
I was beaming with pride. This game, I raced home to catch it in its entirety after Sports Center. And it was one of those things where I was like watching, I was it's so, you know, it's so corny to say, but I was like watching with goosebumps, being like, hell yeah. Like those are my guys. LeBron, 39 years young, just flying through the air. Here comes Kevin Durant doing his thing. Drew Holiday, Derek White, these champs. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. KD hits the shot right before halftime, coming off the screen. It was an absolute no doubter. Steph Curry, first ballot Hall of Famer, greatest shooter of all time, is like playing a sidekick role on this team. I'm like, dude, we cannot be stopped. Dwayne Wade kept saying, I know him personally, and his pronouns are he, him, which we have to get into here in just a minute, which we have to get into here in just a minute. But Elle, this team looks nasty. And
No,
all of the rules are like
yeah.
condensed and fit for them. It's a shorter court, it's a shorter 3-point line. Basically, they don't have to expound as much energy to cook these dudes.
Okay. And so, alas, after cooking Serbia, which they did, why then did Steve Kerr, coach of the Olympic men's team, say, I feel like an idiot? In fact, here's what he had to say about the fact that in this, what ended up being a rout, the aforementioned Jayson Tatum didn't even take off his warm-ups. Here's what Steve had to say.
It's tough, but Jayson handled it really well. I talked to him today before the game that it may play out this way, just with Kevin coming back and the lineups that I wanted to get to. But that'll change. You know, Jason's going to play. Every game's going to be different based on matchups. He's a total pro. He's, you know, first team All NBA 3 years in a row. I felt like an idiot not playing him, but in a 40-minute game, you can't play more than 10. You really can't. And, you know, so I think he's an amazing guy, great player, and handled it beautifully. And, you know, he'll be back out there next game.
Listen, he explained later on that he did talk to Jayson Tatum about this.
Yes.
Jayson Tatum anticipated this was coming. He talked to him pregame and he said, listen, with KD coming back to the lineup, this is potentially something that could happen in this game. Steve Kerr went on to explain he is going to take this by matchup perspective. Like he can't play all 12 players, but certainly he's going to look at the personnel that would be perfect for that matchup. And that's how he will move accordingly. So he's like, fear not. We had our own Tim Legler for the people that were like, yeah, but you could have put him in. You were up by 26 in the second half. It was a blowout. Tim Legler says that's even more disrespectful to
Mm-hmm.
put. He's not Scalabrini.
That's
Wrong
correct.
Celtic. This
He's
man
not.
doesn't deserve to just come in junk time. If you're going to do that, that's more disrespectful than not playing him at all. And
Yeah.
so Steve Kerr says, and has already said, that Jayson Tatum will be playing in their next matchup.
He's not a fifth-year senior on senior day that needs to get his mop-up minutes because his mom and dad came to this game, right? And he was a walk-on. Like he's Jayson Tatum, and the way South Sudan plays, they are a more perimeter playing team, longer, stretchier forwards. So everybody's saying Kerr and Wendy, who was on SportsCenter earlier this morning, was saying that South Sudan is the matchup that they're going to get here in 2 days. That obviously caters to Tatum's game. KD will likely be in the starting lineup. So fear not, green teamers. Jayson Tatum is going to get his. He is going to get his minutes. But him being omitted from game one of the group stage gave us some internet content, which Elle, I think, immediately gets the gold medal for best content so far.
So here's what we're going to do, because Gary swears that there's all these amazing memes that are so funny. And in the interest of being real with our viewers / listeners / however you consume this show / podcast / I'm going to look at these memes in real time.
Oh, this is the funniest.
Should I start here at the top? We've got a Google Doc here on the show. We're very high tech, and we just click on the links. Should I just start here at the top and work my way down?
These are the funniest. This is the funniest.
Okay, here
Which
we
one
go.
are you watching right now?
Tyrese Halliburton and Jayson Tatum when it comes to handing LeBron and KD Gatorade bottles.
Is it Shaq and Kobe? Yo, it's prime Shaq and Kobe. Elle, I'm crying.
They're that good at it.
The internet is so. There are so many funny people who don't
Jayson
get
Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton helping Team USA win a game. Oh, and it's just a bunch of men pushing a car out of a ditch, it looks like, and they're using the ultimate level of teamwork to do it.
Oh wait, no, but that's the guy that's in the back of the truck. So he's not
doing anything.
He's literally
He's
just weighing the
more
truck
weight
down. He's literally just weighing the truck down. Elle, so funny. And then I know I put one with our boy. Watch the one from Butt Crack Sports, and then watch the one from our boy Josiah.
Jayson Tatum first half highlights from handing out towels. It's just a guy handing out towels and sweeping. This is so mean.
Yo,
this so kid has a lot of swag though to be the kid that's sweeping up. Like he's loving this job. Nasty. Pride and performance, baby. Let's go. Pride and performance.
And then you're gonna have to watch the next one from King Josiah. Watch that with the sound up if you can.
Oh, hold on. Can I have to get the sound up?
Give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance. Give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance.
You remember Kingfish?
Give me a chance, give me a chance.
Give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance.
Give me a chance.
Yo, Elle, the internet was so funny. And these are doing first team all NBA numbers. Like these are 5, 6, 7, 8,000 retweets. So you know it's gold. Like America gets the gold medal in memes for sure.
100%. If there was a way to capitalize on social media ignorance, America would win for sure. But I want to go back to that point that Steve Kerr made.
Yes.
I felt like an idiot. And I feel like personally, that could be your own personal mantra.
Hundo.
So Gary, what are times where you just felt like an idiot?
Oh, this happens to me on a daily basis. We've compiled lists. I have 5 things. Elle, anytime.
Only 5 things?
Only
Did you
5
whittle
things,
it down? Okay.
Only 5 things that happened to me today. When people ask when I'm at a restaurant, how do you want your eggs?
Do you freeze up? You don't know what to ask for?
I don't know what over hard, over easy, and over medium mean. So I always ask for scrambled.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other 3 things mean.
That's cute. My sister I just asked my sister how she wanted her egg. And she kind of gave me this look. And then she's like, I like sunny side. I said, do you know what that means? She's like, I just know it's a term. I was like, perfect. You don't even know what that means at all. So sunny side would be
runny yolk.
Yes. Sunny side would be that you crack the egg and then you just let it sit. Like you never flip the egg over. So whatever happens, it's like very runny and you slide it over. And over hard would be that you flip it and no yolk is runny at all. Like you let it get hard. So it's almost like a fried egg. The yolk is nice and congealed. There's no over. Like medium would be a little bit of yolk, right? It's like firm, but then you've got a little bit of the yellow stuff coming out. And then over easy would be just exactly that. You flip it over just to get the what I call the egg snot off of it, and then you flip it back. And so it's not as runny as the sunny side up,
It's
but
too
it is a
much.
little more runny.
There shouldn't be 5 options. Okay. When I receive a call, when I'm on a call on an Apple or on an iPhone, and you got that screen that's like call, hold call, ignore. My brain freezes up every single time.
Yeah,
I don't
with what
know.
to do.
I always just let it ring. It could be the most important call in my life. Don't know how to accept it.
Yeah.
And
Because you're going to
I
hang up inevitably on someone else. I will say this, though. That's the GOAT move when I'm on the phone with someone and I don't want to talk to them and they're like, oh, give me 1 second. Someone's beeping in. I immediately hang up and then I pretend like it was their fault. I'm like, oh, you must have hung up on me. Anyway, I lost
That's clutch.
service, so I can't talk anymore.
Elle, you know how to get off of a call. This right here is like A+ cheat code. Do you know how to get off a call and it doesn't hang up, but it
What?
does technically lose service?
What?
If you're on a call, swipe down on your phone and put your phone into airplane mode.
Oh,
If you put it
nice.
into airplane mode, it says signal lost. So it does look like you lost service, and then take it out of air. So if you ever
Wow.
need to bail on a call, and I've used this, you got to use it discretionarily. Discretionarily? You have to use it with discretion. Boom, pop it back on, and you're Gucci.
That's pretty good. I never
Thank you.
thought about that one. I like that.
Yes.
I was definitely the person that was just, I like acting. So I was definitely the person that's like, I
Correct.
can't hear.
Correct. Like you're
Weird
on
because it's
Wi-Fi.
not.
5 bars. What? Elle, I have
All right.
one more that makes me feel like an idiot, and I feel like everybody can agree. When I go bowling and I throw a bowling ball, it just feels weird walking back to the seating area. I just always feel like an idiot walking
Yeah, I
back.
feel
I don't
awkward.
think there's like a cool way to walk back. There's not a cool way to walk back. There's not like a standard way to walk back. It's just kind of a weird, lonely walk.
Well, especially when you throw gutter balls, right? Like
Which I don't do.
it's very easy to me. If you like bowling is so easy if you like throw a good ball, because if you throw a good ball, right, you get the aftermath where you just pose,
Yes.
right? You sort of stand there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you get a good one and you turn around. It's the simultaneous like
Yeah.
whip around, fist pump. And
Yeah.
it's like, let's go, right? Like you make a direction, you walk to
Yeah.
someone, you high five them. Like it's when you awkwardly throw a gutter ball or miss a split by a mile that you just sort of shrink
See,
back to the
but you're a natural showman. All right. So you embrace that. Okay. There are no small parts, just small actors. And you step up to the role every single time.
Yeah.
And you're built for that. You know what I'm saying? You're built for that 3-second walk from the lane to the seating area. But Elle, those are just some everyday things that make me feel like an idiot. What about you?
Yeah, so mathing. Just anything math in
Cosign.
general is so hard. And my kids used to do the kind of math when they were very little that I was good at. What's 2 + 2, mommy? Nailed it, right? Like that kind
Yep.
of stuff I can do. Now Eva's moved into the like, what's 8 times 12? And I'm like, I should know this. Is it
Wait,
96? Is
she's
it
6.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, it's brutal,
Damn.
dude. So mathing in general, she told me today division is easy and then proceeded to ask me a division question that was not easy. Didn't have my phone, couldn't even pretend to look at the calculator. So it's not great. So I suck at mathing. I still count on my fingers. That's fine. When someone says to me when I come into the studio, I think we've talked about this. They'll be like, "Have a good show, Elle." I'm like, "You too." You're actually security. You are not going to be on air. My bad. Or, have a good flight. You too.
You too. Be safe. You too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You work at the sandwich shop. You're not getting on a plane.
Uh-huh.
This has happened to me before. I don't know if this ever happened to you. I also think this is the biggest move in the world. When someone corners you about their name.
Oh my God. That's a violation.
Bruh, it's such a violation of
That's
just
a
like
violation.
of empathy and compassion. It's so mean. I've had people do it to me. They're like, "Do you remember me?" I'm like, "I do." And they're like, "What's my name?" I'm like, it's escaping me." They're like, "Where do you remember meeting me at?" I'm like, "Oh my God. Yeah, it's so rude." I'm like, "You're literally setting yourself up for embarrassment." I meet a lot of people. Gary, you meet a lot of people. We meet a ton of people. And I'm trying my best to remember all of your beautiful faces. But unfortunately, sometimes it escapes me. Situation escapes me, your name, all of those things. So do me a solid because I do that to other people. Like I throw them the bone. Even if I assume they might know me, I just assume they don't. And I go, hey, I'm Elle. We met at Bonnie's party. I absolve you. I take it all off of you right away so you can go, that's right.
That's good.
Bonnie's party, right? Like you give people that little gem if you're a good, kind person. But the other side of that is, what's my name if you know my name?
That's
Ooh.
violation. That happened to me at a freaking family gathering a couple of weeks, 4th of July family gathering, and I forgot my uncle's sister's name. That's family.
Oh no.
Yo, hell, that was family, and I forgot her name. It was bad. It was not good.
Wait, let's reenact this. So like how did you realize in real time you forgot her name? What'd you do?
My uncle, dude, he was jerk move. They got a pool and there was somebody swimming, and the aunt in question didn't remember the name. And I was like, oh, how can you not remember his name? Name was Kevin in the pool. That's Kevin. How do you not remember the name? And then my Uncle Pat was like, do you remember her name? I see his sister 2 or 3 times a year, probably for the last 20 years of my life. And it escaped me. It escaped me.
Did she hear you not know?
She was right there. She was right.
What did you say?
It was bad. There was nothing else. And I'm a good improviser. I'm good at getting in and out of scenarios. I was dead to rights. I couldn't tell you her name right now. I'm so flustered. I couldn't tell you her name.
You still don't. You would think you would have burned it into your brain after that embarrassing moment.
No, like
you still don't know her name.
As soon as they divulged the info, then of course I was like, yeah, no, duh, of course. Did you really think I forgot? Duh, 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 duh. I can't tell you it right this second, Elle. And I'm pretty sure they all listen. So this is not great.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just want to be clear here. You said your uncle's sister. Wouldn't that be your aunt?
Okay. Yes. Okay. So it's not. Well, it's not my dad's sister, my Aunt Linda, her husband, Uncle Patrick. It's his sister. So like my aunt removed, whatever it's called. Is that what it's called?
So wait, who's the uncle? Who's the uncle?
My uncle is my aunt's husband. So my dad's sister.
Oh, your aunt's husband. Okay, got you. So it's like
you've actually
it's an
met
in-law
them.
situation. It's an in-law situation.
Yes.
Okay.
But I see that every family function, they're the ones throwing the party and stuff. So it's I literally.
No, wait, you were in their house and you don't even know his sister's name? Like you were eating up his food, drinking up his Malibu.
They were high noons.
Pineapple, probably.
It was 4th of July. But yes.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was bad. It was really bad. No, it was for sure really bad. And that is why, Elle, everybody is a nickname to me. Even if I know your name, everybody is a nickname to me. I'll know your first initial, or I will nicknameify everything about your name. Big Dog, A Train, T-Bone, C-Bone, C-Money, B-Money, B-Train. It's not that I don't know what your name is, but if I give you one of those, it's because I'm not confident in myself. Okay.
Well, I love, by the way, too, that you just revealed that you're not particularly creative either, because all of them were money or train. You just changed the letter.
Or bone. Or dog.
What would I be? L bone or L train? I mean, I think L train sounds.
The L train is pretty sick, but I know your name confidently. Okay. I even know your real name. Okay. So like, you don't got to worry about that with me, L bone. But if I ever question myself,
yeah,
it's always bone, money, train, or dog.
That's a good one. I see you, because you're a man, you can't use some of the more colloquial terms that I use. Like I can say boo, bae, sweetie, hey hun. Like I'll like really like, I almost like become like a Southern grandma when I don't remember people's names, and I'm just
you got
like
auntie energy.
Well, hey babe. Yeah. TT. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I'll be like, well, hey boo.
Damn, we just gave away all our secrets.
We really did. So now when I call someone friend at work, they're going to be like, you don't know my name.
And listen, CJ, okay, Mike, Megan, all the people on the morning staff who listen and watch the show religiously, y'all are safe, okay? You guys are good. Sean, Zena, T, y'all are good.
Oh my
Uh,
God. Okay. I love this. I want to pose this. I want to pose this to the audience. I want them involved in this conversation because finagling your way around not knowing people's names is such an art. And I would
It's
just
an art.
love,
It's
I
an
would
art.
love for the people that are listening for their advice or their embarrassing stories where they didn't know someone's name. Listen, don't feel bad. It's really hard to beat family that you've seen three
Mhm.
times a year for 20 years, not knowing their name. That's a tough one to beat. I think Gary takes the Olympic gold medal in that respective sport, but I would love to hear your workaround for not knowing people's names. Now, I'll also do sort of like a prep conversation with my husband. We go to some of these events. I'll be like, hey, there's going to be people here and I should know their name and I don't know their name. So I need you to be the
Yes.
first person to sort of
Yes.
like eagerly, like I need you to be eager beaver. You beeline towards these
Yes.
people. Hey, I'm
And
Omar. What's your name? Like you gotta, I was like, and you have to be specific because some people won't introduce themselves, which is weird
correct.
too. Like you're waiting, and they'll just be like, hey. I'm
And
like, hey,
Omar's
I'm Elle. Hey, how are you? I'm like, well, no, you're supposed to say your name there.
yeah. Omar's so good at that too. You have such a cheat code
He's a
having
wingman.
having Omar just pull up to the spot and people sort of gravitate to him and his energy and he's just always like, "Hey, let's bring it all in." And he ends up leaving with more friends than you had at the event that you were the one who was invited to. So that's like a built-in cheat code for sure.
It is.
That's not fair. My girlfriend is good at that. She's a bit of a social butterfly too, but I mean, Omar, he could write the book on it.
Our producer has a good one. She says that she asked for them to put their contact in her phone. Now, I've never done that, but I've
Oh,
definitely done the thing where you're like, "Oh yeah, let me get your number," and then I'll be like, and I should know their name, so I'll be like, how do you spell it? Right? Remind me how you spell it again. I'll
but
say
that's
that, and
that's
then sometimes,
tricky, Elle. That's
right, and then
tricky.
sometimes it's like, oh, it's just Sarah. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Or John. What is that with an H? Because I
yeah.
got a
Oh, I'm
couple
sorry.
Johns.
Is that an
Yeah.
H or no H? Just an N?
Oh my god. With an H saves you, says Sarah without an H, one of our producers. I don't go to that because it's that dangerous. Like my name is Nick. What do you mean
Yeah.
spell it? Are you stupid? Like, what are you
It's
doing?
it's just Gary. It's like, oh,
But
with an E.
what I do though is when I do get numbers from people, I immediately shoot them a text and I'm like, yo, I just sent you my first and last. Hit me back. And usually it's implied. They'll hit me back with the first and last, and I'm Gucci. Oh, this is
A
like
lot of
this
anxiety.
is PTSD.
I'm actually very upset that we revealed all of these things because I know there's going to be people that are going to call me out on this. But again,
Yes.
call us 203-805-8166. We will play your voicemails. I really want to know, what do you guys do when you find yourself in a situation where you don't know someone's name and you're supposed to? Or do you just fall on the sword and go, I'm so sorry, like please forgive me, remind me your name again? Because sometimes we build it up and it can be as
Mhm.
simple as, I'm sorry, remind me your name again.
Yeah.
And then you move on and it's fine. But I would love to know how you guys work your way out of that situation, the most awkward situation you've been in where you forget someone's name.
Yeah.
Again, can't beat family probably, but yeah, let
I'm gonna
us
text my
know.
uncle right after this, and I'm gonna ask him to recount that situation. I have gotten ahead of myself a little bit now, as again, 203-805-8166. That's the number. L, incorporate this into your strategy this time. When I do meet new people now, I will say, brother or sister, I promise you, I will remember your name. But if I need to ask you the next 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 times I see you, please don't take offense. And
Yes.
usually they're like, no problem. So I will now preface this as
Yeah.
like, I will remember your name. But if I have to ask the next dozen times, please bear with me.
Yeah.
So
Just bear with
I go
me.
ahead and just get out ahead of it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. That's the best way. I love I can blame mom brain. I'll be like, I'm sorry. I got a lot of mom brain. Forgive me. I'm going to ask you a few more times.
Yes.
I also like to do the thing for other people. You know how when someone comes in a room and there's this standoff of like one person will introduce themselves and then all of a sudden everyone just goes around the room and introduces themselves to this one person. Clearly this
Mhm.
person is not going to absorb any of these names. Like there's
Correct.
30 names being thrown at them. So I love like breaking the ice by once the last person gets to their name, I'll be like, all right, now say them back,
Now
right? And
go
like everyone
ahead.
has a
Go
good
ahead.
chuckle. And we're like, and then you absolve them. You're like, you're not going to remember any of those names, but
Correct.
anyway, we'll remember yours, right? And then like, because that makes people feel special. When
Yes.
new person comes into a room of friends, of familiars, you have to go above and beyond to try to remember their name. And one of the ways to do that is exactly what my guy Jimmy Haslam did when I had dinner with him at Sun Valley. He said my name 150 times, and it was so smart.
That is good.
He would
That's
preface
yeah.
every question by saying my name. He would respond by saying my name. And I was like, that is such a great tactic to employ to remember someone's name because it made me feel like he knew who I was. I felt very special. And
Yeah.
he just kept saying my name. Repetition
It
is the
just gets
way.
ingrained in your head. That's billionaire activity. That's cheat code
That's why he's
activity.
so smart.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There
Elle,
you
I'm gonna
go.
start doing that, Elle.
Well, Gary, I think that would be really good, Gary.
I appreciate that, Elle.
And honestly, Gary, I'm happy for you. And Gary, you mentioned it before as we wrap up this program. I am going to NABJ. I'll be coming to you from some hotel room in Chicago, more than likely on Thursday. And Gary, we'll get into it then. We'll mix it up a little bit. Looking forward to Chicago. Looking
Can't wait.
forward to NABJ. Looking forward to forgetting all of your names.
Y'all gonna have to put your contact in Elle's phone or send her an email because she is not gonna remember none of that, dude.
Well, it actually is helpful because people wear name tags, but that's almost a crutch, right? You don't have to remember their names if you can just look down at their name tag over and over. So, yes, again, for those of you that are going to come running up to me at NABJ, like we met last year and the year before and the year before that, I'm going to remember your face. But please don't take offense if I do not remember your name.
We're face people, not name people. And we love you all the same.